Good morning / afternoon / evening, depending on the time that you're listening to this.
Podcasts, they're timeless.
Welcome to Suck On It, episode 5?
Yes, 5. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the weird thing about recording intros.
Yeah, intro's out of time. Today / tonight
/ yesterday.
we are talking to a good friend of ours called Ellen James. Very talented musician from the local area code. Hailing from Warrenbane, that's the one.
Yeah. The ancestral land.
Yeah, before making the giant trek into Benalla to join us here.
15 kilometres.
That's right. To join us here in the mainland.
The mother country.
And we welcomed her back into the fold.
Welcome back to civilization, child.
Yeah. You have survived the trials of the wilderness.
They return to society.
Yes. Let the warm embrace of capitalism consume you. And we decided to do it a little bit differently, considering Ellen's quite the muso. So we got her to frame the podcast with some songs played live for an audience of 2. Myself and Jake. So we started the day with a song, and we let that inspire some conversation. And then we had another song about halfway through, bit more conversation. And then she took us out with a third and final song. All original compositions, all fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
And we really hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, well, I guess you're just objectively a dickhead. Because there's no such thing as opinions when it comes to this kind of music.
If anyone wants to jump on board and sponsor the podcast,
yeah, we'll take some money.
Great.
Take some money or some coupons.
Just like an oil company or something. Want to get in on some of that black oily dollar. Suck on that big oil rig teeth.
Today's podcast brought to you by the long dick of capitalism. Coming at you through the airwaves. These are the moments when you suddenly think about the different people that might listen to your podcast based on the guest you have on.
Yeah.
And you go, shit, I make some good life choices.
That's right.
I regret nothing. It's a real reaffirming moment, having that experience.
But I just thought, there's a book I want to recommend based on our conversations. It's,
Go for it.
Yeah. So, Ashes in My Mouth, Sand in My Shoes by Per Pedersen. It's a Norwegian book. It's only really small. You'd read it in like an afternoon. And I was thinking about it when we were talking with Ellen. And so I was like, I want to recommend it.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Book plug.
Yeah. Get it in you.
It's been a long day. Book plug. Perfect for stopping up those gaps in your entertainment.
The membrane of your imagination.
Sick of watching TV? Don't feel like playing video games? Book plug.
Yeah. Stick in a book plug.
I don't think we need to say anything else. At this point, we've got no one listening, so...
Maybe better just to stop.
Maybe we'll put the timestamp in the description of when the song's are. You can just click song. Alright.
It's a great thing. Is that in the sheet music for that song? Blah.
Oh,
The blah.
Yeah.
I just imagine that you're doing like an orchestral version with like a choir and everyone's like blah.
All different.
Yeah, nice harmonies.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard that one. That was awesome. I like it.
Would anyone else
Yeah.
like water?
I'm okay. I think we haven't done any work.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't just
Right.
belted out a ballad of. It's
I feel like you might need some. It's fine.
Yeah.
so cool.
I sort of like you say that catchy bit where it's like la da da da. I sort of feel like I've definitely heard it before, so I guess it took me a while to add it because I was like, I feel like this is already a song. But when you think that in that way, every song's already a song. So I was like, fuck it.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's called the tin kettling. Do you guys know what a tin kettling is?
I do, but only because I've heard you play that song.
I don't. What's a tin kettle?
Okay, so basically I didn't know what it was and found out when I was about 4. And we'd moved out to Warrenbane, and for some reason, I basically explained it in the song, but I was
You weren't
taking...
listening, Jake.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Context.
Yeah.
I was just
Gotta get up and play it again.
Yeah. So I remember being like, me and my sister went to our neighbours / family friends, and I remember like getting given a coat because it was cold, and like going through their like pots and pans and stuff and picking out a saucepan or whatever and a wooden spoon, and I didn't really understand what was happening, and I was like, where's Mum and Dad? And my sister was like, we're doing a tin kettling. So basically what we do is we walk up the driveway or whatever, and make as much noise as possible, like yelling, cheering, banging pots and pans together.
Yeah.
And the reason and the whole community does, so like everyone was invited or whatever.
Yeah.
And the idea is to welcome the new people into the community.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be a surprise.
Yeah.
So I think Mum and Dad were lucky in the fact that their neighbours warned them. They were like, so just so you know, this might be happening. Because like, what if you were like walking around in the kitchen nude or whatever, and then your whole entire village just like arrived and...
Well, that was my question, because when you said the story on stage, so where did you go with the rest of the neighbours and then come up the driveway?
Eh?
Yeah, sorry. So I went, we went to our neighbours, which happened to live up the hill.
Okay.
We were like a little village of hobbits.
Yeah.
And we walked down their driveway and then onto the main road and joined everyone else already walking, which was pretty cool. I remember like kind of, coming into the line of people, and then, we walked down the main road and then down our road and then down our driveway. We just started yelling.
Probably another reason why they had to tell you folks, because they were taking their kids.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But I feel like it was a normal thing also for us to go with, because they were like...
So you just nicked off all the time?
Yeah, I think, normally they were with us. That's why I was like,
yeah,
what's going on here?
Weird.
Yeah.
So, what a like awesome like little bit of communal mythology kind
and
of
no
thing.
one, like, I looked it up because I was thinking maybe it's not what a tin kettling is. I need to actually Dr. Google this before I write a song about it. But yeah.
It's actually some hardcore sex thing.
Yeah.
Bulgaria. Do you want tin kettling?
You never know. It could be. It could be. But yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
You're pretty sure that it's a wholesome communal tradition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like?
Not saying that.
What's the history of it? Is that what you're looking up?
Yeah.
Where it started?
Sorry.
I reckon it's like
slow.
in Wales or something.
Kettling.
Tin kettling. It's great. It's like
tin kettling.
A tin kettling.
It's such an evocative name for a song.
Oh. This is not what I saw.
Welcome to Bulgaria.
Okay. Tin kettling, a ritual performed prior to Barossa Valley Lutheran weddings where friends, revelers gather outside the home of the bride. Oh no, here we go. Tin kettling. A surprise celebration, an old Aussie custom of banging tin pots and kettles together and or throwing them up onto the roof of the newlywed couple. So that's strange. Or new parents or someone newly into their home.
That's cool.
There we go. By friends, neighbours, in order to give them one hell of a welcome.
So it's an Australian tradition.
Must be.
Holy fuck,
Yeah.
there's a culture here. Outside of the one that was like 40,000 years old.
Origin. Sorry. It doesn't really...
Kind of cool. I would have sworn that it'd come from somewhere else.
Yeah, like
it probably has. Like, haven't we stolen everything else?
Maybe that's the one thing.
yeah,
Maybe,
the one Aussie.
maybe we've got
A good tin
kettling.
kettling. We don't have anything of our own apart from the tin kettling.
The 4 and 20 pies.
Ah, so cool. So I haven't heard you play in ages.
Yeah, I guess I haven't been because life's busy.
Yeah.
And this mystery wrist injury, I guess, has been holding me back a
Plaguing
bit. So I can only sort of play a few songs before it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Teaching
Yeah.
you patience.
yes.
Festival appearances only when you just play like
Yeah.
3 or 4
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
No full gigs for you.
Yeah.
Might be a case of hiring a guitarist.
It could be, but I don't play. As everyone will know once they hear that song that I just played, I don't really play to a particular timing. I play to my own timing.
How did you learn to play guitar? Because I've like first probably heard you play guitar when you were like 14 and busking or something like
Was
that.
that Talent Quest, wasn't it? It was the first time? The Benalla Talent Quest at the BPAC.
And it's, yeah, like it's always surprising to me, like when you hear, what?
I don't know.
I'm just getting into description. I'm giving like a story, the saga. No, but like when you hear you sing for the first time, it's like, how does that much come out of like such a small kind of like person? That's what I thought. Well,
Being.
particularly when you're like 14 or whatever, and it's just like, holy
And
fuck.
since then, you've grown 3 inches.
I don't even honestly think that much. I don't think I've
all
grown
that
at all.
smoking
I was
stuff,
the
you know.
tallest in grade 6.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Hold on to that.
But like, yeah,
There's photo evidence.
how did you start?
Playing guitar was high school in year 7, but I originally wanted to play the fiddle. That was my instrument, just because I loved still love Celtic music and that kind of stuff. But yeah, when I got to high school, because obviously I went to a very small primary school, so there wasn't really any music teachers there. And yeah, when I got there, I asked if they taught violin, and they didn't have anyone that was teaching it, so I was like, oh, well, I guess I better go guitar.
Yeah.
Because that's the next best thing or whatever. And then the next year, they had a violin group.
Oh.
And there was like 6 people in it and a teacher. So, it
Did you
was
not?
kind of too late. I didn't have a violin. Like, I had a
At that
guitar,
point,
yeah.
Yeah.
Too far
Yeah.
down the track.
12 months
Yeah.
into the guitar stuff.
And I'm sure
gigs
if I really wanted to, I probably could have borrowed one. But I guess we were already paying, for guitar lessons. So
And did like
I say we, it
Yeah.
was mum and dad.
did the singing like come later? Did the singing have you always sung? Or?
Yeah. So my grandpa was really musical and my auntie, but no one else really. But I remember hearing my sister always sing in the shower, and so then I started singing in the shower. And then I think we had a couple of Christmas concerts in primary school, and I sung an original, what's the word? A song,
Composition.
Composition. An original composition that still haunts me to this day. It was a very country song, and there was no music to it. It was just me and my friend singing.
Does someone have it on video?
No.
He's going to play it for us.
No.
And now Ellen.
But Megan and I, they still remember every word, my sister and family, so they like to bring it out sometimes to test me.
Some people would think that would mean you'd never sing again. Like,
Yeah.
how did that turn
it took
into
a while.
Like,
It took a while. Yeah.
It wasn't a logical next step.
No.
You go, I'm going to do this every day.
I don't know how I started in high school though, like writing my own. There's actually no, it was year 7, I think, which is pretty cool. I had a relative in VCE when I started high school, and all of his friends were really musical, and I remember they did a lot of performing arts nights and open mics and stuff around town, and I guess I was just like, that looks like fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try do that.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it's not a particularly exciting story.
It's kind of like
I think you know it.
Yeah. It just seems like it's this thing. It's like kind of a natural evolution. Like I've always liked your music because it doesn't feel like too. Like I don't know. Like if I say it's not structured, you might take that as an insult.
There
but
is
but,
no real
but there's
structure
like
to it,
it's
though.
kind of like got this really kind of.
Organic.
Yeah, it's very organic. Very,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like, I mean, I'm not trying to take away that you put work into it, but it doesn't sound like you've gone, there's this bit and this bit, and what I really need now is a really catchy hook that'll go here, and it just kind of sounds like it formed.
It sounds
Yeah.
very, it's like it's occurring.
I guess,
as you
yeah.
hear
Well,
it.
I guess I don't, like you're supposed to have chorus, verse, all the songwriting rules. But I don't know how to do that, so I just do my thing. I mean, I try and do some kind of chorus, but I guess, I don't know. I don't know how I do it.
It just happens.
Yeah. And I don't know as many lessons and as many subjects as I've done of music and stuff. For some reason, my brain doesn't seem to understand music theory. I feel like if I did understand, if I could read music and actually know how to compose it theoretically, I think my music would probably sound a lot different than what it does.
Yeah.
But I'm just guessing.
Well, it's kind of good because sometimes when you know the rules, you won't break them. You'll really adhere to them.
Yeah.
Whereas they are there as guidelines, I guess, some of the best songs ever are people going outside the lines.
Yeah. It is interesting speaking to people who are like classically trained, and then they really struggle when someone's like, now improvise, and they're like, what? The rules.
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah.
Improvise.
I mean, it would definitely be handy in some situations. It'd be nice to be able to read it because, like, for example, I went to the National Folk Festival in March in Canberra earlier in the year, and I went with a couple of people that both play fiddle, and they had this awesome. So I worked there, and I worked in a bar called the Session Bar, and basically, all the attendees, the volunteers, the actual artists all met there. It was pretty cool. So it was like a equal level ground. And they did these things called sessions where people would sit in circles and just play and play tunes. And it was amazing watching everyone just pick up on what everyone was doing. And I think some people had music here and there, and I was just that one person that was kind of sitting in the circle going, just having, clapping along or just sitting in awe. Yeah.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, sitting in awe. And then the coolest thing was you'd look behind your shoulder, and so you'd be sitting in the circle where they're all playing, and it'd get bigger and bigger with more layers. And then you'd look behind you, and you had I'm going to get this wrong, but some of them were Kaylee dancers, different types of dancers, doing their thing to the music, just next to it. And then there'd be another circle over there, and it was pretty cool.
How cool are those things when people just naturally gather around and do that sort of shit, whether it's it happens with talking and stuff, but particularly I find when people get together and just make music or something, it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that not knowing theory shouldn't hold you back from that. I struggle with the same thing though, not knowing theory. If someone was to say,
Play me a...
I've got a gig and my guitarist's fallen through. Would you like to play? That's the kind of thing that'd be really fun to do.
Yeah.
But I would not, because I don't know music. Like,
Yeah.
It's just going to be, I'm not going to have that thing. But I think when you've played enough music like you have, your instincts would be on. If you just tried something, it's probably going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Even though you don't know the theory, I don't think you're going to be playing like in a completely different...
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
like,
dun,
but that's what you
dun.
feel like you're going to be. Like, and you will if you feel that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll be cagey.
So what
and
you're
you,
saying is be more confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Done?
So simple.
Good.
Yeah.
That'll be
Welcome.
$150 for the session.
But no, because I feel like I struggle with
Yeah.
the same thing as well. Of going, yeah. It's that tough thing. If you're going to be someone that doesn't know theory, then you kind of got to embrace it and trust yourself a little bit. But it's really, really hard to do.
Fuck yeah.
To just go, whatever. I'm just going to...
Oh, I don't even care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even care.
Everything.
Well, you know, like, it's hard to sometimes... That's a really weird example of, I don't even care.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's... I don't know. I don't know, it's, you know, I don't know.
It's getting hot in this room.
Yeah.
You
I like
guys.
improvising. I do like improvising. But when it sounds shit, I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Well,
What a phenomenon.
I know. It's really profound. Like,
Franco and I have been... I asked him if he wanted to be in my band, and he was like, yeah. And then we did nothing for, like,
that's all our
3
bands.
months. Yeah.
So he's perfect.
But the other day, we were sitting outside, speaking of improvising. And I don't know, we were both bored and like, what are we doing with our lives, etc., etc. And he grabbed the guitar from inside the cafe. And we had like different sauces and cups and stuff. And I just pressed like my voice memos.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we just made a song and my job was to sing and hit various bits of cutlery against various bits of china and table legs, and it worked out really cool. And then we ended up sitting in the stairwell because we were like, that's nice acoustics. And we improvised and wrote Never to Be Repeated Again, but about 13 songs, I reckon, just sitting in the stairwell being dickheads. And I was actually surprisingly very impressed by our, like, it's when you're improvising, like, that trust of, like, you know, yourself, but also, like, the other person. It's kind of a cool thing that happens when you, like, end up somehow miraculously harmonising. And
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The trusting yourself, but also the other person you're with, which is probably why it's really intimidating to go into a group of strangers and do it. I feel like I just don't know what they're going to do, and I feel like they're all reading music and they're going to judge me because I can't.
Yeah.
And the reality
I'm
is,
inferior.
some people do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do walk into a musical group and they're like, oh, you don't know how to play the fucking 12-bar blues or something. And it's like, no, I don't. Yeah, I think it happens, and I don't... It's fair enough if that's what people want out of a session. It's not what I want.
No.
I don't give a shit what your training is or what, even to a degree, what it sounds like.
We should try and catch up at some point and do some improv, because I would like to get better at it. So it would be fun
Write some
to like. And I
songs.
feel like Franco is the kind of person that would help you get better at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know I have the ability to improvise within me. But music is something that I really, again, I feel like I don't know the rules, so I'm like, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't know what my boundaries are here.
There's no rules.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Whereas like acting and like, I guess for want of a better word, comedy, I'm super happy to improvise.
Yeah.
You know, with films and stuff, I really like doing that kind of stuff. Just setting up a camera and coming up with your character. This is your defined character, and this is your defined character, and just going for it. I have no trouble with that. But music, I guess that's why I just hit the nail on the head. There is at least some defined parameters.
So, sitting around drumming sometimes, I've had nice experiences with people.
I don't know why drumming's different. Do you think drumming's more primal or something? Like, I don't fear improvising with drumming.
Well, but too, if you start off with a
The
basic
rhythm.
rhythm, most people have some... But whereas if you hit a wrong chord, in a song. Yeah. You can really tell.
Break a string.
Yeah.
But
Um,
it is funny that.
tuning peg falls out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the things go wrong.
Keyboard, electric keyboard goes out of tune.
The worst gig. I mean, it was a really good
It
gig,
was
but it
fun.
started so fucking badly.
It's our Woodstock. It rained in the morning.
They loved us by the end.
That's
It's
right.
fine.
Yeah.
We had a 7-year-old on drums.
Yeah.
So
Pretty,
cool.
pretty impressive. Someone said they didn't realise. Was it you? You didn't realise
I didn't realise she'd even
that
taken over.
Talia
on
was
drums.
not
I
there
thought
no
it was still
longer.
Talia
Asher
drumming.
was just drumming.
Turn around, there's this little kid sitting there like Animal from the Muppets.
I can't. I love drumming, but I can't drum. I tried to learn drums at one point as well, and I just can't. Like, my brain just won't. I mean, I know it's practice, but I can't even, like, hit something without going out of time after about the 10th beat or whatever.
I struggle with drumsticks. I'm
Yeah.
alright if it's like like you're hitting a bongo or a cahoon
Yeah.
with your hand. Is okay.
Cahoon.
But
I might be better at, like, a
Bod drum.
Celtic-y, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, it's the disconnect with a stick. Because with your hand, you're like, I'm hitting on this beat, and you hit it with your hand. Whereas with the stick, there's that little bit extra, like, a delay.
I find I always go for the offbeat, which is really weird, or I always go to drum to the singing, which is weird. But yeah, I don't know.
I always struggled with that, with ever trying to write songs. Everything was on the same, like the guitar, the chords, the drumming, and the singing were all like da da da, like at the same time. It's just really hard to not do that. I don't know why. Which is why it's kind of, I don't know, impressive to listen to your stuff, your original stuff, because again, circling all around to the organicness of it, it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't, and maybe, please correct me if I'm wrong, but like I said, it just doesn't feel like you've really kind of tried to conform to anything.
No, just sort of.
Does
Right,
it,
what
does,
comes
it come,
out.
does it come in parts though? Like you told me before about trying to have like a chorus or whatever. Do you have a chorus sometimes and then write a song around it, or do you like start from the start of the song and go, this is the verse, and maybe we'll go into this for the chorus, and then you know where you're going back to for the verse?
Yeah, no, I think it normally just comes in bits. Like I'll come up with a little bit of like something instrumental and then put some words to it, and then it might not necessarily be the start or the end. It might be somewhere in the middle. It's different every time. Like, the time I went and
Sorry.
I love it. It's the time I went to Melbourne to watch some interview with Paul Dempsey, and I asked him about songwriting, and he said that there's no like kind of process that sort of happens, you know, every time you're like, how do I do this again? And then all of a sudden, you know, once you've got something, you're sort of like, yeah, and then you go to do the next one, and you're like, fuck, how do I? What's the process? But
so
yeah, I think
sometimes lyrics come first.
Yeah.
Or is it
mostly music first?
Okay.
But yeah, sometimes if I hear a cool sentence somewhere or read something, I'll like write it down in my notes or something on my phone or in a book, and then might revisit it later. There's even been times where like there'll be an old song that I've discarded because it was shite. And I'll grab some lyrics from that, like it might have been one from like, I don't know, 7 years ago or whatever. Back to so I did that thing where I forgot what I was going to say and panicked before we finished one conversation. But about drumming,
yes.
I always get really high anxiety when you're watching a concert and they get you to clap along to it, because I'm that person that's like, I'm going to clap off beat, and I end up clapping off beat.
That's okay, because so does everyone else.
I know. And then when people start clapping when I like sing, which has happened before, it puts me way off. I just can't.
Me and Loz are such old people sitting in the, like, old grumpy people always sitting, like, in the audience. And
You're
they're
off,
like, yeah, and the guy's like, all right, now go clap along to this one. We're like, you fucking stupid. We paid to listen to you, not these fucking Muppets. And they're like,
I fucking hate audience participation.
Me too.
Like when it's like, I need the volunteer from the audience. It's exactly that. I paid to go and be entertained, so fucking do
We
the
paid
show.
to see the pretty people.
Yeah, that's right.
not the
Not these
troglodytes.
Peasants.
Like I don't know. I
I get
get
to escape them.
like when we went to Green Day, that was good. They pulled up a kid. He knew how to play fucking basket case or whatever it was. He played it for half a song. Billy Joe gives him the guitar. And they throw him back in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
That's
He
good.
got torn apart. The guitar was stolen and put all over.
As soon as there's like,
There was blood.
yeah. As soon as there's like instructions, an introduction. Now, everyone, I want you to say hi to Charlene. Charlene, who have you come to the show
Hi,
with tonight?
Charlene.
Yeah. Now, what we need you to do today is, are you comfortable with doing what? Fuck off. Just only if it's a song or something that everyone knows how to do. You could pick any person out of the crowd, they'd do it. But you picked this, I don't know, like, there's a level of explanation beyond which I go, fuck off.
So when you ask people to howl as a group,
No,
is
that's
that audience participation?
No, see, I don't mind, but that's a very simple thing. That's a simple thing. It's there's a difference. That's crowd interaction.
Ah, okay.
Crowd participation is like,
Improvisation.
yeah. I don't.
Oh, shit.
The other difference is you do usually have plants in the audience when you do that.
Yeah,
I would say. I mean, I haven't been to all of your concerts, but I feel like usually
I normally
you would
say
have,
exactly the same thing and say
and-
there's some
and,
wolves
yeah,
around.
There'll be people that
Yeah.
know it, and that really helps. Like at the Morngag one, it's kind of the front did it for a bit, and then once me and John and Owen at the back started, that the next couple were like really, because people do go, oh, it's okay.
I
Other
didn't
people do.
notice. I was just too in my
That's good.
wolf
Whereas
moment.
like the other one more recently, when people didn't
Oh,
join
yeah.
in, was because a lot of the people that did know, like myself, was like looking around going, I think I'm gonna get torn apart if I start howling amongst these people.
By these other wolves.
Yeah.
These
I
silent
was
wolves.
like, I don't feel comfortable in this wolf pack, so sorry, Alan. You're
I
on
did
your
not
own.
feel comfortable.
wolves
in
of
that.
silence.
Yeah.
It's an interesting experience. No, it was fine. I just went into my own little world and was just like,
Which showed,
yeah.
like, you still performed it really well, and you had those diehards down the front who were like, oh.
Some people too, like some gigs you play, like if you play say like a gallery opening or something. I remember playing one with you, and it was just like you're in the corner.
Your background music.
No, but yeah, and it's kind
Yeah.
of like just stick a CD on.
We got cut off. Do you remember that?
Really?
We started playing Sex Pistols.
That
God
would
Save
have
the
been
Queen.
amazing.
God Save the Queen
It
acoustic
was.
by the Sex
It
Pistols.
wasn't really.
I think we got maybe halfway through it, and then the
That's enough
organizer
for
was
me.
like, yeah, literally doing like the
Oh,
cut across the neck thing,
wow.
and we're like, okay,
How rude.
yeah,
Lucky we didn't play Dennis Leary.
asshole.
Asshole.
Yeah, I think it literally was like a bit of a test there because we were like you said, put on a CD, and we were sitting there going, I don't think anyone's listening. The good news is people were listening because they heard pretty quickly, and
That we were
she
playing
cut us
Sex
off. So at least
Was
we
that
know
at
she
an
was
art
listening.
gallery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God save the Queen. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Gee willikins.
Struth.
There was something I was going to say. It was a good segue.
Drumming,
and I missed it.
wolfing.
It was playing in your own little world. I feel like this podcast is very interviewy, so I'm sorry. Just asking you questions.
Well, I mean, we've known you for a long time. I don't reckon I've ever got to like pick your brain about how you do your music.
Yeah.
But I can trap you in front of a microphone and then you have to answer.
My biggest fear.
Your biggest fear is being in front of a microphone?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You do that.
Face
a
my
lot.
fears all the time. No, but the
Use that
difference is
brain.
I can sing and I can plan what I'm going to sing, whereas when I'm talking, I don't feel very articulate in what I'm trying to.
It's so funny that
Say.
like the relativity of silence when you're thinking about something and you're like, I feel feel like I've been not saying anything for 30 fucking minutes. But it's literally, like, listening back to the podcast, it's like that, where you feel like, even just that one there, when I was thinking about it, you're suddenly very aware of the silence, but it's not like, people wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah.
It's so short. But you feel like you have to fill all the silence with like, I think...
I mean, most of my
you know
sentences
I mean?
are, like, you know...
I've been trying really hard to cut down on the likes.
On
I
the
think
likes.
it's actually worked. I think I'm not saying as many. Still saying sometimes.
I've found that I do the like thing a lot, but I also do that, I don't know, you know, a lot too.
Yeah, nah.
Or,
Nah. Yeah.
So,
Being in my own little world, you were saying.
yes, the singing. How to phrase it? When you're like, a lot of your songs are very like passionate, like the way you sing it. You don't have many songs which are kind of just like,
The sun is shining.
yeah, or like warbly and kind of, you know, even if they're mellow songs, they're not like mellow by your standards. They're not elevator music,
No.
I guess I would say. And I've just always been interested to know, like, how much is that muscle memory, and you just turn it on and you know how to sing it, so you just sing it, and how much are you in it feeling that emotion, you know, because the emotion comes out and everyone hears it, but how much are you actually feeling it, and how much are you just going and singing really loudly?
Yeah, I think I used to just muscle memory, to just try and replicate it every time. But I guess in recent years, just speaking to different musicians and different people about this life in general. I don't know if it was you guys always do this. I'm always like, who was I speaking to?
If it was really good, I'll claim it.
But someone said about, you know, it was something along the lines of like, when you perform a song, like you can tell when someone's lost passion for it. You can hear when someone's lost passion for it or whatever, and there's no point in singing the song.
I could tell when we were trying to record your album.
Yeah. Well,
at the 15th take of a song, and you're like,
I'm sorry.
I lost the passion.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think she's ever going to play music again.
Well, there's been times where I was like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. But
that wasn't me, so I don't know who else. I'm sorry.
Might have been Franco. I don't know.
That sounds healthy though. Sorry. To get to those, I reckon that's a normal thing where you get to a point you're like, fuck, I never want to fucking do this again.
Yeah.
And then it's like when the well is empty and it's like, I need to give this a few months.
That's what I think has helped, is because I sort of stopped. Well, I had a bit of a forced break with this arm, and I guess, and that's the other thing. Like if you lose your like enthusiasm for a certain song or whatever, that's when you can put it down for a little bit and then really think about it before you play it again. But anyway, after speaking to different people about life and various things, I guess now when I do sing a song, I do try and forget about, even though I was like shitting my pants just before. Try and not be anxious, and try and not focus on anyone else, and try and be in the song like I was when I was, I guess, writing or singing it for the first time. And really think about what I'm singing, but at the same time not think too much, because when you think about how you've got to say something exactly, that's when you stuff it up.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want to
twisters.
completely eliminate anxiety, would you?
No, and I think it's a bit healthy to have a bit of...
It's like survival
nerves.
instinct.
Yeah.
I know when we were doing theatre back in the day, any time where I was super confident was when I turned in a shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like I think if there was a moment where I was not scared or not like feeling sick in the stomach before I played, then there'd be something not right.
Yeah.
That's it. Just thinking about your, like you're saying, the passion in the songs, and like I think there's this energy. There's a big energy thing that happens when you hear your music, and you know that nervousness and stuff. To me, that's when you're playing with something really big. It's not just kind of a ditty or anything. And I think I've been thinking about artists in this way a lot recently, like fulfilling that like shaman role, in society. You're actually channeling things. You're channeling common experiences or things that people kind of need to hear sometimes and like transporting them. So it should feel big, I reckon. I think
Yeah.
it's like when they used to go through like visions or whatever, you know, where the shamans would eat the mushrooms and then, you know, everyone else would drink their piss and get high or whatever and have visions.
It's like three
What?
conversations about that in 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Clint's
Yeah.
just
Clint
been
was talking
going
about
on
that
about
last
that
night.
for the last 2 days.
Well,
So.
well
Yeah.
I think the thing with that is it's
Yeah.
No, you go.
No, I've been finding that really cool lately, where I think humans have like this. Humans definitely are a lot more magical than we think, and we haven't like it's something we just haven't tapped into yet. But just how cool it is that like, you know, in our group or our community or whatever, there's 3 different people can come to like, you know, the one person and talk about the same thing, but they haven't spoken. Those 3 people haven't spoken to each other. And I just find it the same with like if you text someone at the same time as they text you, or you know, or someone rings you when you're thinking about them. Like I find that so fascinating. I think there's something else there. But anyway,
Touching the
Go on.
jeweled web of Indra.
The jeweled web of Indra, that's
Yeah.
right.
but yeah. Sorry.
No. That I was just wanted to add on too, like where you said, like something that we haven't tapped into.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we've forgotten or been made to forget. Because, you know, you hear stories of how, like, I read somewhere about, you know, like Native American, like the drumming and the playing music and dancing. They saw that as being like a really like essential part in nature, like almost shifting the seasons. That humans had this job to kind of shift their energy as well. Like, and I think we've either forgotten or been made to forget that.
Yeah.
We don't feel that we sort of feel like nature or feelings, all these things that are kind of, we feel like are beyond our control. And maybe we used to acknowledge that. Now we feel like we have to subdue and like conquer them.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I
Yeah.
think it's actually about like opening back up to it and getting you like being a painter or something, or I've just had that experience recently drawing with charcoal. Like it keeps boiling down for me. I can draw the same fucking deer shape over and over again. And I feel like really connected to it, and like you're trying to just get in as fewer lines as possible the idea of this animal. And when you look at cave art, like people go, oh, it's so primitive. It's so primitive, like cave art. If you look at the stuff that's been painted in some of the caves that they've found, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it really captures, like it's not just stick figures. Like there's these walls in one of the caves where it's almost like big cats or something. I don't know if they're jaguars or whatever. But they're sort of painted in outline, and they're all over the top of each other, sort of big ones and then smaller ones inside. And I started reading an article. I didn't finish it because I can't remember, in the middle of something, but I saw the headline pop up and it was like, new theory arises that paintings in this cave might have been inspired by the echoing sounds of animals from outside.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Imagine that. Like
Putting echoing into a vision.
Yeah, because that's kind of what it looked like. It looked like the same cat drawn over and over, and then slight changes, and then in some of them you can almost see that original drawings done in one style, and then however long later, other people have come in and started drawing over the top. And anyway, but the point of that being, I think when you're really doing your thing, you pick up on stuff. There's a feeling when you're doing something.
Yeah.
Connected and like this is kind of feels important.
And trying to surrender to it a bit more is what I'm trying to do, I guess. Someone said a really nice thing actually. When I played that an unplanned set at Happy Wanderer, because one of the artists had to go, so I ended up playing, and I obviously hadn't practiced or anything, so I just had to go do it. And someone said that they hadn't heard me sing or whatever, and they must have been walking past and they heard the voice and they came over and they were like, where's this where's this come from? You know, I've had a cup of teas with you in, you know, Mark's kitchen or whatever, and then you were just this completely different. He says something about, like, having, like, obviously off in another world or another space, but something about an aura, and I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously don't see it, so it's interesting to hear what other people, their experiences.
And it's both the curse and the blessing of art really is that you put it out there and other people experience it, so you can have those really good experiences where other people pick it up and go, this is amazing, and obviously you have other times when people pick it up and go, what does it mean? I don't get it.
Yeah, like, there was one guy, like, when I was busking once, an old man walked up and he said something. I can't exactly remember what he said, but he was basically like, you know, if I give you money, will you stop playing?
Fuck off.
And I was
How
just
much?
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear him the first time, and
Yeah.
I was a bit like, what?
How much is your silence worth,
Yeah.
old man?
Pretty, yeah.
Do you think it was an like a particular dig at you, or was it like, I don't know, was he just like, I really want peace and quiet?
I don't know, because it was on a busy Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So I guess it's hard not to take that kind of thing
Personally.
dark. And I think I thought he was joking at first, but I don't think he was. He was like deadpan.
Sometimes I think you come across people who are like, you know, if people have had like nerve damage physically, some people like spiritually have nerve damage. They can't fucking connect with anything. They're cut off from stuff. Like, if I hear music that I don't like, I don't go, ugh, shut up. Like, for me, it's kind of like, that is going to resonate with someone. I'm not saying I'm like, oh, that's wonderful.
It's going to be someone's thing.
It's someone's thing. Someone's connecting to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, someone likes
And I'm
Nicki
sure
Minaj.
that person who is making it is connecting to it as well. It's like anything.
And I'm sure though, conversely, that dude loved his fucking, I don't know,
That's
bark or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, I lashed out.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it.
I'm just, it's a conversation we were talking about the other day of that, you know, being nice.
He's
basically.
dead inside.
Being
just
nice.
so-
Yeah. Being nice. He's dead inside for sure. That being said, being nice, is being nice trying to change the world around you because you view the world away, so you want to change it because in your eyes this world should be this way because that would be nice? Or is being nice causing little conflict and harm, or removing yourself from it, absorbing it? Do you know what I mean? So what he was doing there was obviously trying to change the world around
There's
him.
noise pollution.
To make it nice for
Yeah.
him, yeah.
So from
He could have just kept walking.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
gone out
yeah.
of earshot.
I definitely don't agree with what he did, but it's just that sort of weird
He could have been having a
situation
bad
where
day.
that is what I would do if someone was playing. I don't know. I can't even think of a style of music I really don't like. But if they were, I would probably remove myself.
Yeah.
If it was really bothering me, I would just go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it's just that there seems to be that different, that kind of, I mean, obviously the shades are great, but there does seem to be those two different ideologies. Either you fix something by removing yourself from it, or you fix something by changing it. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's even an age thing. Maybe as you get older, you just have way less patience.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've fucking worked 70 years of my life.
I
don't have
deserve to tell
sit
you
here.
how.
My seconds are
shite
counting
you
down,
are.
you fucks.
Yeah, you're wasting
Yeah.
them. Why are you get a real job?
Yeah.
Why do you think you can get
Are
paid?
you trying to
for
be
singing?
Bob Dylan?
I feel like I had another
Ew.
different point to that, but I can't remember what it was.
That was my Bob Dylan impersonation.
About, I think it was about the interpretation again. The talking about like people seeing an aura and all that kind of thing, and the fact that it's really groovy when you like. I feel like your songs, you're never thinking what will make people sad or what will make people angry. You know?
Even though they all seem to make everyone sad.
So you don't think that because you've got it in the bag. You know every time.
yeah.
But like you definitely, I imagine, writing for yourself.
Yeah.
And then that connects with people in a way that talking to them wouldn't. So this goes back to the cave paintings as well, the place of art in our society. When you play some of your songs and people like more or less weep, or you know, or
I'm
so
sorry.
like the tin kettling one though, that's not sad. That took me to another place.
Yeah,
that
it's a bit
made me
nostalgic or something. I don't know.
in a way that you telling me the story, although us looking it up and getting the facts is like, oh, that's good to know. I wasn't engaged with the Wikipedia the way that I was engaged with the song. And the same way when you play a really sad song, if you went up to someone and was like, I'm really sad, they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's no good, yeah. Bye.
See you next time. Pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's like the surface level empathy kicks in when someone tells you something and you go, okay, these are the things I should do with my body language and all that kind of stuff to go, oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you sing when it's
There's
good,
no
it's
hiding.
like, they all like, it becomes about them as well.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, the sign of good art when it's not. You know what I mean? Like, art shouldn't be made for mass. This is the tough thing of an artist. Art shouldn't be made for mass appeal because then it's callous and it's not really art. But it should have a mass appeal.
Yeah. I'm with
it
you.
should
Just
find
thinking of fruit peel.
Fruit peel?
Yeah.
a whole lot of
orange.
peel.
Mass appeal.
All the
Mass
peels.
appeal. You've never peeled mass?
Science, bitch. Mass appeal.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That you do want everyone to connect and everyone to get something out of it, but you don't want to be thinking about that when you're making the art.
Writing the comic book was a different experience.
Mm.
Because I had, slightly different, but trying to imagine it all was the first time where I've really gone, okay, how's this going to play through from start to finish? How would I read it?
Mm.
And really working through that, what comes next? It was very linear in a lot of ways. But also just writing something that appealed to me, that I'd like to pick up off the shelf and go, oh, this is fucking cool. Like, it's got mythology, but it's got superhero stuff, and it's got, that sort of stuff.
I feel like you never do that with films.
Maybe it was the thing...
What have you been doing?
Well, I think too it was different because it was probably the first thing that I'd spent a lot of time writing alone. Like, you and I had conversations about it and sessions, creative sessions, but then predominantly I was typing it, writing it, and even drawing little outlines, layouts alone. So it was kind of really different. I was learning to trust more of my own judgment than I normally would. When you know what I mean? It's a very different process to write together or apart, I find anyway.
Yeah. Well, even just for example, some of the songs that Franco and I played together or created together, I'm like, I would not have done that by myself.
Yeah.
Were they happier?
They're just more crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some are happy. Some are sad. Some are, I don't know what they are. Just weird. Fun.
Should we get another song? We've been going for an hour.
Oh, what?
Should we get a second song?
Sure.
What are you going to play for us?
I don't know. How many songs should I do?
3.
3 maybe?
3?
We'll
Okay.
do another one, then we'll talk for a bit, and then you can play us out with one.
Alright, cool. I might do the boy named Sam one,
Okay.
I think.
Not this Sam.
Not you.
Just for clarification.
Yeah, for any Sams out there, this is not about
It's not about you,
Don't
right?
make it about
Unless
you.
it is about the Sam that it is about.
That's true.
That's right.
If it is about you, you know who you are.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or does
The
he?
rest of you.
Because it was a long time ago, so we might.
Oh, this is just
I mean, he
total
might have had
setup
many
for...
proposals. Who knows?
That's right.
Maybe.
I might have Facebook stalked him, when I was writing the song, and I think he's like, this is hilarious.
The Stalker's Ballad.
Yeah, yeah. I had to do my research.
Always.
He's a chiropractor in Spain or something.
Man, you could have been in Spain.
I know. Yeah, no. Alright. This is called The Boy Named Sam.
Take it away.
When I was 5, fire
was great.
That was awesome.
It wouldn't have been one of my songs if I didn't get chords wrong in it. So I apologise.
Sounded great. Do you want some water?
Noticed.
Yeah. Some elixir of life. Please. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's a slow.
Also, it wouldn't be a podcast with me if I didn't kick over something. So.
I have an interesting thought after listening to the song, but I'll let you have your water first.
Okay, go.
Okay. Do songs ever change their meaning for you?
Yes. I think they do. I'm just trying to think of an example. They definitely do. There's been more than one instance where they have, like, just the way I view a situation or whatever. But even, like, Peter Cottontail was about, like, being nostalgic and stuff. But now it's kind of, it means a lot more than it already did, which was a lot to me because it was Mum's favourite.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, it's, I sort of feel like I wasn't playing it for a while because I was about as sick of hearing it as you guys were. But now I sort of, I feel like I play it with a different intent or something. I don't know.
Did you change the structure of Peter Cott?
I don't know.
When I listened to it,
Maybe it just evolved.
No, I listened to it at Morngag.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was different, or possibly Creatures as well. Was that intentional? Creatures got. I'm trying to think if it was longer or shorter. Creatures seemed to have changed the structure.
I feel like all my songs go for too long, but Creatures, I think I starting that differently. So I tried to do like a howl before the actual song starts, which is quite hard because like you're gonna have to guess if you don't play a note beforehand what you're gonna land on. So it could be. But sometimes, out of being out of tune works for me. Sometimes.
I reckon it does. Like, I don't think like things have to be on
weird
tune
key.
all the time.
Whatever that means.
Who did we talk about this today?
We talked about it with Jack in there. We were
See, it's happened again.
Yeah, repeating the
Humans.
the visions are getting closer now.
But definitely they can definitely change meaning, I think.
And like, what about that song? So that song was, how old were you when you proposed to this lad?
Proposed to this guy?
Yeah.
5.
Good 5.
Yeah.
So,
I wasn't sure. I was like, is this a story? Is this I wasn't sure. I hadn't heard the story.
you haven't heard
I haven't heard any of these songs today.
Go for it.
That particular sentence, that story about that Sam, was, so I went to a small primary school, as I mentioned previously, and I think there was like 30 people when I started and 12 when I left.
Yeah.
And I kind of was able to do this thing where I transitioned before prep because my sister was already there.
Yeah.
In grade 6. And there was this boy in her year level called Sam. And obviously there was something about him that made me want to marry him. And whatever that means. And there was a Christmas concert at the end of the year that my sister was in, but I wasn't because I didn't go to school yet. And I remember it was all done and like people were outside doing various things, and I remember he was standing inside with his friend, and I called him over to like the side of the hall door kind of thing. And I remember it vividly, and I was like, "Will you marry me?" And it was very polite for a 12-year-old boy. And he was like, "Oh, I think, thank you, but I think I'm just a little bit old for you. Sorry." And I just melted.
Really?
Yeah, just instant, ball of sadness, and just started bawling and ran away and just screamed, "You just love my sister!" as I ran away. And it was probably true. But what I didn't know is that when I was crying to my mum about it, she was sitting next to the principal, who happened to be this boy's dad. So I got teased for it
and
for
then
the
they moved to
remainder of
Spain.
my years.
Yeah, they had to get away.
Yeah.
Isn't it how funny? I was just thinking like that, like whether it's like the Christmas party or like Was it a Christmas concert?
It was just like an end of year concert, yeah.
Yeah, the
They
end
had,
of year
like-
concert. Dramatic shit always happens for kids and
Tumultuous
teenagers.
time.
It's always like, oh god, I better ask such and such out, or you know, it always fucking happens. It's like you leave it to the. It's like you do realize this year's just going to roll over into the next one. This doesn't really signal the end of anything.
Yeah, I guess it was the end for me because once I started, he'd finish. And yeah.
You got to catch him while you can.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that song is the perfect example of what I was talking about before, of like the feeling it every time or not. Like,
Do you still feel that sadness?
it sounds like I mean, it sounds like you're singing about a lot more than proposing to someone. When
Yeah,
you're five.
I am.
So
Well,
is it about
obviously-
more?
yeah,
or do you
obviously
put yourself
the-
in it.
That, I guess that was a prime example of like, I don't know, this song kind of can go both ways. Like, just either being anxious about, like a moment in time and remembering like how it went and being like far out and regretting that, like,
Yeah.
you know, like 10 years later, the most minuscule thing that happened. Not saying that like, I find that funny now, that whole proposal thing. Hilarious. But just other moments and stuff, thinking about it and being like, fuck, I've ruined my life because I said that one thing 10 years ago in a conversation when, you know, I was out at a party or whatever. But then also it can be a really good thing when you like look at your memory video and there's like a memory that you can kind of like keep thinking about. So yeah, I guess, and I talk about like hiding like in a rabbit hole, like just bury me because of that feeling of like, fuck, what have I done? What am I doing?
It's a real like, I get this like feeling when I listen to your songs of like, I was gonna say patchwork, but it's not right. It's like photograph. It is exactly that. It's like photographic. It's kind of like there is this sense of nostalgia and like personal mythology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me, it's more like you're not a musician. You're a bard.
Huh.
You know, there's these
That's so
stories.
nice.
All of your songs are stories and ballads, and it's like making mythology about what you've experienced.
Yeah.
But they're structured in such a way just for us to sit
There's
here.
a lot of imagery. Yeah.
Analyze your stuff. They're not songs like stories. Sorry, they're not like story songs in the way that say "Hurricane" by Bob Dylan is, where the words are literal and it takes you from the start of the story to the end of the story. Because all that, I mean, that's a great song, but it is now forever that. That song's not really ever going to be about anything other than hurricane. Do you know what I mean? Than that story. Whereas your stories, it kind of reminds me of the movie Tree of Life, where you could watch it, or / listen to it, and there's a chance you might just not get anything out of it as a audience member, but because it's put together in the kind of like you said, Jake, like a patchwork kind of way, and there's like phrases in there, but they're not all super literally like this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. You can sort of like put yourself into it a little bit. It brings up your own time, your own thoughts of that time.
That's
of going,
really cool.
oh,
I was
fuck,
gonna
what have I
ask.
done?
I was gonna ask. Like, with that, does that remind you of like, yeah?
I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't make that song doesn't necessarily make me feel that like oh fuck, but it does make me feel nostalgic.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does really conjure up images. I don't really know of what, to be honest. That sounds really wanky. But I was sitting here just getting images.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it was anything from my life, to be honest. But felt nostalgic about other things. It was the TV show, the friggin' web series we're gonna make. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, this song would go well in there. So I was getting memories of a show that's never existed.
That's so strange and cool.
I have been like having like nostalgic moments recently where I think about things. I think because there's like the elders in our family, I guess, are getting older, and it's the wheel of time, shifts and stuff. But I had a time of like grief the other day, just in the car driving to Shep, and I just was unpacking some stuff. I had a dream about my granddad hugging me. That was the whole dream.
Yeah.
He's not like a huge hugger. Like, he will give you a hug, but in this dream he just smiled at me and just hugged me for like the longest time. And then I unpacked it a few days later. I was like, oh fuck, like It's really interesting to kind of be feeling that and thinking about things. I thought about times where I'd watched cricket at his house.
Frozen Prima.
Yeah, frozen Primas.
Sunny boys.
Strawberry ice creams.
Yes.
Yeah, the yogurt.
I loved them so much.
Just those little things, and even like how he used to walk around. He'd come in from outside, and he'd always be barefoot around the house. Have his work shorts on, and whatever, and he'd walk around, and they'd make him milkshakes, and God, it was so nice. But I don't know, there was just little like things came to me of like, they're like these bittersweet kind of treasures that you get to kind of lock away, that you go, I don't get to experience that again. But I did experience that.
And sometimes when you are experiencing, well, pretty much all the time when you're experiencing it, because it's such like a normal thing.
Yeah.
You don't
Everything
realize how valuable it is. Yeah, and that's the thing, because I've been having similar experiences, and I'm just like, wow, like just like stupid stuff, like, you walk past something in the street and you'll be like, oh, that's where, that one time we sat and, did something or whatever, like just like as a family or whatever. Yeah. That's a really bad example. I'm with you. Like even I was saying to Jack, going to Wangaratta Cinema is like not necessary. I don't go necessarily because it's a, great cinema. I find it nostalgic at the same time because I have memories of like mum. Don't tell your bosses.
They're regular listeners.
I mean, this was a long time ago. This is back in early 2000s. Stuffing like Jaffas and Fantails and stuff at the supermarket in her bag. And so she'd have like this humongous bag that she'd walk in with under her arm because there was 5 of us. Yeah. And she was just like, it's too expensive. And so, yeah.
And they can't check handbags, so just...
Oh, well, I don't know if they could back then, but it was
they
like...
probably knew. They were probably like, here she is again.
Yeah. So,
the backpack thing.
that's such a funny little memory, but it's stuff like that. I'm like, it's quite...
Yeah, I remember Omar used to do the same thing at the Geelong Cinema. Yeah. I remember Omar would always take us and pack Werthers. I don't think it was even like really high-end stuff with the Werthers originals.
Lawn.
Memories are so funny. Sorry?
The smell for me of grass being cut is big. And I think smell is a huge thing for memory. But like I just get... It's a particular time when summer's coming and people are starting to mow their lawn and stuff, and maybe there's a bit of cricket training going on and people are having fish and chips down by the lake. This is a very familiar feeling. It's a very,
I had a cool, just because someone brought around some fresh veggies from their garden the other day, and they had leeks in a bag, and it reminded me of my grandpa used to live... and he was a musical one, like across the paddock. So we'd walk up the paddock, get through the fence, the like broken fence, and go to his property because he couldn't hear very well. You'd like get on his veranda and you could hear him humming. Like he'd be like da-da-dee, da-da-da. And he'd be like in the kitchen making like potato and leek soup or something like that. Yeah. And it's just those, or I'd go there and have toast. I think it was like Promite toast and hot chocolate after school. And it's just so special and it was so normal at the time. But, memories, man.
It'd be so cool to be able to paint this shit.
Paint this shit?
Yeah.
Like the echoes.
Like the really abstract but not abstract kind of...
Little moments, like, hidden. And...
Yeah. I was thinking of that brought to mind a memory of, like, the, just the bridge, the Benalla Bridge, when it's nighttime and the lights are along the side of it. You can see the lights like reflected in the water, and we used to go swimming there and get fish and chips and that kind of stuff. That'd make an amazing painting, the reflected lights.
And I think, like, if you did that, you wouldn't be the only one that would probably be nostalgic from something like that. Yeah. Maybe you should make a tote bag.
What are we talking about?
What?
I don't know. Make a tote bag with that print on it.
Oh, print on it.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? Like, fill it with my memories? Is this some kind of psychologist thing? Like,
no, I was just thinking of little, like, drawings of various things. Like, you could do a lawnmower or you could do an old man cooking and have various little
Patchwork.
patchwork on a tote
memories.
bag or something.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how we, like, that you say it's kind of little things that are kind of ordinary. Like, lots of people have probably, you know, their parents have stuffed lollies in at the movies or, like, grandpas and cricket and all this sort of stuff. But it feels so significant to us looking back because they're kind of really, like, there's a few moments, like, and I mean, they are more than just, some moments have, like, a higher emotional density or something. Like, there's stuff that really sticks with me as going, fuck, that really was, like, pivotal kind of thing.
So why do we remember, though, our, like, family sneaking stuff into the cinema? I couldn't remember for the life of me all the times that they actually went and bought cinema food.
Isn't it funny?
Which must be probably actually more, really,
it's
when
so
you think about
silly,
it.
like some of the things that we do remember, like, yeah, I don't know.
Especially if it's got a slight negative and or like exciting base. Like even that, like I was probably at the time when Omar was sneaking the Werthers
This
and
is
that
bad.
kind. Yeah, like oh my god, they're gonna catch us. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Stuck. Or like guilt, man, guilt sticks. I remember again Omar buying us McDonald's when we weren't really meant to have McDonald's and like eating it and feeling really guilty, but like oh my god, it's so good.
Guilt
And
is...
I reckon I'd be literally like 7 and I remember that like
Wow.
very clearly.
And you
One
can
of the 3 times I've had McDonald's.
agonize, like, over the smallest thing.
Mm.
It was to the other person.
Well, that song, agonising over the smallest, most minuscule thing.
And he probably doesn't even remember it.
Yeah.
Be
but
great if he did though.
Yeah.
Great if he somehow came across this podcast
Yeah.
and reached out.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
hilarious.
It'd be so good. We'll have him on. We'll have him on the podcast.
What was your experience of that
Fly
one?
in from
But
Spain.
I mean, I wasn't just talking about
This is
that
your life.
because I'm not actually. It's not something that I'm fret over now. I'm actually very impressed by how courageous I was because
Yeah.
For a 5-year-old to propose, it's a big
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you have
4.
4.
I reckon I was 4 or 5.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, you were ready to settle down. It's
I was.
impressive. You were like, I think I've got
I
this
was
thing
a
figured
lot
out.
more confident as a little one. I think.
Not proposed to anyone since?
No. No, I don't think so.
Think so?
Not seriously.
Not while sober.
Those things, like, that you...
Oh, my mum. I
Oh,
proposed to my
yeah.
mum. Sorry.
No,
When I didn't know what marriage was. And I was about the same age. And I guess
I think this was like a week
the-
later. You worked out what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. No, I think this was a little while before I thought that marriage was just about, which is quite funny, isn't it? About 2 people that just love each other very much.
Ridiculous.
And I love Mum. And then I remember being like, Mum, will you marry me? And my sister being like, you can't marry Mum. She's already married.
That was the only...
That was the only thing she saw wrong with it, apparently.
You're married to Callum.
Yeah, I'm married to my... That's
Was it
true.
a
I should
burgering-
remind him.
Did he have to get
Burgering
divorced
wedding?
to
We
marry
never
Nietzsche?
got divorced.
Yeah.
So technically his
Yeah,
wedding
His
isn't legally binding.
current marriage is not legitimate.
And then
Technically, the
marriage.
3 of us should now be living in Switzerland. Thank you very much.
Was it a burgering
Uh,
marriage? Oh wait, you guys didn't go to school. Apparently that was a common thing in school.
Right.
People would have burgering weddings where the burgering would be there.
No. The burgering goes up there with Harold the giraffe.
Oh, Harold.
You were married to Zoe?
I was married to Zoe, yeah.
You guys, we've got to call in our weddings. I think we should renew our vows. You
Yeah.
know. I remember that. It was a really nice ceremony.
There was video of it. There was like those,
Really?
those you know, like those Steiner school materials that are like
Like
kind of
silky,
tie-dyed,
Yeah.
silky.
tie-dye.
There was that hanging up, and they were
Ah.
like all 4 of us were like up on a table. How old do you reckon we
Beautiful
were?
ceremony.
You guys are probably old enough to know better.
Look, probably like not that young, like 18.
No, I would. We were
doesn't
living in Geelong at the
surprise me.
time. I would hazard a guess that me and Zoe were like, 4 or 5, and you guys were maybe, 6.
Yeah, like 6
or 7.
something like that. Yeah.
So yeah,
Cute.
still pretty innocent, but.
Mm.
but you can't have it filmed, then that shit's binding. That's clearly a mistake.
The other thing, sorry, it's funny, it sometimes comes out of experiences that you remember is like textural things. It's a textural thing. But like there's, my grandpa again, he had like a coat, a black coat with wooden buttons, and it's that really coarse, probably like totally wool kind of, really rough kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But I remember...
Something Badger from Wind in the Willows.
Oh, wow.
That's, and then the memory of it, and this is a powerful one, was because when I was like, I don't know, young, but like it must have been like 10 to 12 or something, I was really out of control. I'd get really angry all the time. Can you relate?
Yeah, I can. I really can.
I get really angry.
They called me Spitfire.
Yeah. And I get really angry and stuff. I can't remember. I probably called Mum a bitch or something. Like it was, I'd stepped over too far and I was furious. And because Nan and Pa lived over the road, and I think Dad was away working or something, but Mum called, she must have called Pa to come over. Like, can you like...
Deal with this.
And I can't remember. In my memory, I was hiding under the bed because I was angry. And maybe I was scared because I knew that she called Pa or something. But then when I got there, so it had been raining, right? It was raining, so he came over. And I either eventually came out, or maybe I wasn't hiding under the bed. But anyway, I came out. But he hugged me.
Aww.
And just, I remember him rubbing my back and being like, it's all right. Like, something like, we all love you or something. Not the response I expected.
Yeah.
But I remember the feeling of the rain, because you know how
Like
it sort of
on-
sticks to wool like that, and the coarseness of it.
Doesn't soak in straight away.
It's such a nice memory.
That's so special.
It's such a nice memory. And that, too, I reckon has informed so much of my dealing with angry people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, particularly like with Asha. Not being like, what the fuck are you doing? You gotta calm down. Hugging. And it's like, you know that you can't get out of that hug. They kind of like, he just kind of absorbed all that anger.
coat.
And then I remember just crying.
Yeah.
You know when your anger turns to sobs? That's what it was. It's such a nice memory. I've been thinking about it a lot recently. One of my favourites.
Yeah, they used to have... Did that happen a lot, or did it happen a couple of times that he would come
I was
over?
really angry.
It was probably usually mostly when Dad was away, because Dad used to have to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
I did get
It's
angry.
odd that you would be such an angry kid and not a very angry person.
How much anger can one body have? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's... I don't know, at a certain point...
I think you expelled it all.
Nah,
but
demons.
I do get angry still, sometimes. But I've...
But
Like,
not that angry. Not like
No.
at the AFL, throw your wallet at the ground and tell the umpire to buy some glasses kind of angry.
no, the last time...
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I punched a wall.
At the Telstra Dome, like at the
Wow.
actual...
I punched the wall after the 2008 grand final when Geelong lost to Hawthorn.
Oh, I was going to say, I've punched walls. You're not up to sport,
I've
man.
heard what was it in one of your matches? You swore or something, and and then you got a card for like.
You got a card for defending.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Standing up for me.
I think I got the card for swearing. But you tackled someone at the time.
Probably.
And they called it a foul or whatever in soccer. And I think all I said was he was going for the ball, but I think I said the fucking ball. And so the bloody umpire decided to turn around and give you a
It's a
card
very
for it. And that
polite
was
way
like,
of saying it.
Yeah.
The fucking ball.
The fucking ball. He was going for the fucking ball. You don't know. It's
people-
like one of the lesser known Quidditch
Yeah.
balls.
Yeah, the fucking ball. Everyone wants to avoid the fucking ball.
The bludgers, the fucking ball.
Yeah, the snitch.
People
that was
change
my
and
point.
people grow. That's probably why you're not as angry.
It
as
seemed
you were.
pretty innate, to be honest. It seemed deep seated.
I let go of it, and I don't know. Just at a certain point, you go, I'm being a fucking dickhead.
It was usually though. I mean, the soccer stuff maybe not so much, but the anger was often based around sadness too. Though it was probably just your anger was your response to heightened emotions.
And things I
Probably
couldn't
not happiness,
understand.
but other ones like the mouse traps. Do you remember the mousetrap?
No, I do. I do remember the mouse
In
traps.
Nan and Pa's shed that was up the back of the hill.
Yeah.
There was a mouse that got caught in the mousetrap and it did die straight away.
Right.
And Jake came across it and Jake you flipped out, didn't you? And smashed.
I think I smashed all the mouse traps.
You got a broom handle and went around smashing all the other mouse traps.
That's a pretty intense.
Yeah, and in tears and yeah.
But not that's not a bad thing to be.
No.
It's
It's a very nice thing to be stressed out about. But the way you expressed it was very angry. Like it was another time when I'm sure that mum and dad were kind of whoa.
Well, yeah, probably.
We can just
we
can just set them. We can just smash them all.
Coconut.
It's dramatic.
And you're like, yeah, it's symbolic. Smash.
But that's a big one. Like death, I think, is a big thing that I remember having to, I've had this 2 times in the last maybe 2 years or something where I've come across, animals on the way home from work that are so badly injured. Someone's hit them and just fucking driven on.
Yeah.
And it really pisses me off because you're just not taking responsibility for what you've just done. But so I've had to put these animals into the next life kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that is a strong emotion. It's a really weird feeling. And this is what I don't think humans are naturally violent. I think we can be violent. I don't think we're programmed to want to kill because...
Sorry, you'll be able to go on, but I was just going to... don't think we're naturally predatory either. You know what I mean? Like, we have violent defenses.
Yes.
But I don't think we're designed to go out and fucking hunt the weaker things.
And they're outliers. Those people are outliers, like serial killers and those sort of people who seem to... reading more about the whole bonobos chimps thing, I believe there are different kinds of humans on the planet that have got different... Dad said this before. I know everyone's thinking I'm going to take this in some sort of weird,
I just heard you speak about this in someone's... Didn't you speak about this in
Franco's podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yeah. No, I think it's different. I think,
different,
and it could be nurture more than nature. It probably is nurture more than nature. It's how you're brought up and that sort of thing. I don't know. But the feeling I get after doing that, after committing an act of violence and, in order to kill something, even out of a place of mercy, it's violent. And it's always this sadness, just deep, why? Why the fuck did that have to happen? Why did I have to do that? And it takes every, that animal is going to die in pain. That's how bad it's been messed up. It's going to die. It's going to die in pain. It's going to die over a long time. But it still takes so much to actually make yourself kill that creature. Because there's an instinct in us to preserve life, I reckon. It just doesn't seem right. It's like, I'm not meant to break this creature.
Well, it's also because it feels premeditated because you have time to walk up and check on it and go, it's probably not going to be all right. I need a stick or a rock or whatever you're looking for to do it. You know what I mean? It's, again, that predator versus defensive thing. If that, whatever it was, kangaroo, wombat, tiny rabbit, whatever it was able to somehow put your life in danger.
Yeah.
That rabbit had an AK-47 and was coming for you. You wouldn't...
wouldn't
exactly, think about it because it's that mechanism coming, which is why I don't think we're predatory. Because it feels weirder to think about it. Have time to go, you know what, I'm going to kill this fucking animal that's on the ground in front of me.
But also why it might be, you might slightly hesitate is because will I, if you have got a rock or a shovel or whatever, will I kill it the first time?
Yeah, will I cause more harm?
Yeah, the first time I...
And that's the adrenaline that kicks over. I remember, you don't realise how much, power can be drawn on. I remember I had, I'd cut my hand because I was gripping onto, branch or shovel or whatever so hard you don't realise.
feel
The
it.
adrenaline
Yeah.
just kicks over.
Nuts.
But it's another good time where you get to experience that thing of sometimes you have to do something.
Mm.
You do it, but then it's nice. I've never felt like I have to hold on to the emotion. I think that's one thing that sometimes people do. You know, that toughen up thing? You go through something. I think we're meant to be able to put the emotion to one side to get through stuff. Then you're meant to pick the emotion back up and go, oh, fuck, that was awful, and cry and process it. I think too often we just go, oh, we did it. So that's good. I didn't feel sad.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Sorry, got a bit dark.
You get angry.
Yeah, but anger, because sometimes you're angry. And I remember feeling the same sort of thing after I had to do that. There's this anger of why me?
Yeah.
Why do I
But
have
why
to do
are we so ashamed of feeling anger or sadness or whatever? We were talking about that again today. Movies, crying in movies. I don't cry in movies, and I don't think that's a good thing.
You don't think it's good that you don't cry?
Yeah. I would like to be able to.
Obviously, no one can make you feel anything, you
Yeah,
heartless
That's
being.
right. I'm a robot. And it probably comes from a really early thing. Like, I definitely don't think it's manly not to cry.
Mufasa?
Nah. Captain
Damn.
Captain Fantastic gets me close.
Okay.
Like, definitely like you know,
I can feel it welling.
my eyes feel different. It's I start leaking. I don't know what that's about. I definitely that movie every time, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably come from an early thing because it's not like at the time I'm going don't cry. But I feel like maybe when I was younger, maybe I felt this thing of like maybe men shouldn't cry or something. I don't know. And you know what I mean? Like it's really deep seated. It's come from a really early memory. I don't know. Just don't know. I literally don't think I ever really have. Maybe once or twice, but probably that was more to do with extenuating circumstances around while viewing that movie, as opposed to. Because I think I did during Warrior, the fucking UFC movie. The two brothers that end up fighting in the UFC. And I mean, it's kind of emotional, the movie. But I think it was more to do that was during, like, mum and dad's divorce and all kinds of stuff. So I think it was more like a bit of an outlet. But it still wasn't like a gushing of tears. It was a couple of tears. And I really would like to work on this. I'd really like it. But I'm at the floodgates might open. I'll watch
in the new
everything.
year. Try and find the saddest movies you possibly can.
To watch. I don't know. Because it's not like I'm not engaged in movies. I definitely get engaged in them. Like, but I'm trying to think of sad movies, and I thought of that Blue Valentine, but that wasn't sad.
Yeah, that was just depressing.
Fucking angry at that movie.
Yeah.
Such a good movie though.
I know.
really-
I've watched it more times than and every
I've
time
only
I'm
watched
like,
it
why
once,
did
but
I
I don't
watch
know.
that? Why did I want to make myself feel like that?
Are there movies that make you cry?
Yeah.
Mufasa, obviously.
Yeah. Lion
make you
King
like-
every time.
Kids movies.
It was my favourite, I think. No, I know it was my favourite. Yeah, all the time. I guess particularly animals and stuff dying. Like Black Beauty even.
Yeah, that's a formative one.
Yeah.
Does John Wick make you cry when the dog dies?
No, I don't think it did. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
No, actually, I did. I think I did.
You're
I can't
lying.
remember. I watched so many films. Yeah. I don't know.
Animals
I
definitely do get you more, don't they?
Yeah.
Like people in general.
No, I'm all good, thank you. I don't know. I think I must be a little bit more, again, like obviously surrendering myself to feeling. So I think I've been a lot more emotional in TV shows than I thought was possible for me. And movies. In
Last
the
Kingdom.
films.
Did Last Kingdom get you? I still haven't finished it, so don't spoil shit.
In various parts.
Yeah,
through
I found
through
this
the series,
season 3 to be really emotionally investing.
I guess Uhtred, the main guy, I reckon he's cried over 10 times in this one.
Whereas beforehand, I always felt him kind of arrogant and callous, and in this season, it's like
His eyes
he's
are constantly
still,
watering.
He still kind of is, but he's like, he can't help but show some emotion.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I found the other 2 seasons really good, but I watched them very much because there's swords and shit. Whereas this season, I've been watching every episode, going, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
It's just, oh no, this is happening now. I didn't realise it had like snuck up on me and got me invested.
Yeah.
Sometime during season 2.
One of the saddest deaths, I reckon, in a show I've watched is in Vikings.
Spoilers.
Oh.
Gone.
When Leif sacrifices himself in season 1.
When they do the 7?
Big
sacrifice.
And the dude, because he's it's really weird. They did that. For me, Vikings isn't a hugely, I love it, but it's not a hugely emotionally investing show. I don't tend to get too upset about what happens.
Yeah.
But his death was good because they kind of made him part of the furniture in the first 6, 7, 8 episodes. He wasn't like a main player, but he was always around. And then suddenly he steps out and you're like, oh, fuck no, you can't die.
Yeah.
You're like the reliable, kind of just sturdy.
Always there.
And it's such a... I don't think there's been many other deaths in TV like that where the dude's just like, yeah, I'll do it.
I'll die.
Yeah, you can cut me open.
Yeah, it's not like in a battle where it's like this noble, like, I will, it's like,
It's
we're
so
going to cut your
otherworldly.
throat and hang you up in the garden.
And you're...
I did like that. I was looking forward to that. That sounds so horrible. I was looking forward to that episode when I rewatched it again because of how beautiful it is in the
looks really
forest
good,
and
yeah.
all the beautiful
Mushroom
structures
taking.
and
There isn't...
the beautiful mushroom taking.
There is something to that, though. And in that telling, I mean, we don't know. Maybe the sacrifices were not voluntary.
Fuck, no!
You know what I mean? We don't know.
Good.
But even if you look at it in the context of the show, that is a pretty amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't know why would... I mean, I'm just speculating here. Why would anyone make up that they were voluntary?
I don't know. Maybe because it seemed bizarre or... But
Yeah, maybe.
But it
I
does
mean, it is
exist in
already
a-
a brutal show, so it wouldn't make
true.
it any more brutal,
it
I
does
guess.
exist in other cultures, though. Like,
Yeah.
but generally it comes out of a place of, like, you've shamed your family. Or, like,
Yeah.
the Japanese kind of thing. Of
Yeah, you
like,
failed.
Yeah, whereas this is like, hey, we need 7 people to appease the gods or whatever it was. So, it's
Hands
just
up.
a really,
It's a
It's
really...
an honour.
It's,
it's such
like
a
in
full
the Iliad, or it doesn't actually happen in the Iliad, but the story of Troy, and I believe it comes from whatever the one before the Iliad was.
Mhm.
It's supposedly that Agamemnon had to sacrifice his own daughter to appease the gods because there was like an unfavourable wind, so the boats couldn't sail.
Whoa, did they draw on that for Thanos?
Maybe. It's quite possible. But that you haven't watched that show on Netflix yet, the Troy Fall of the
No,
City.
I have not.
It gets really bagged out, but I actually really liked it. It gets mainly panned out on because it's got like a lot of diversity in it, and people are like, it's ancient Greece, there shouldn't be people of colour.
Right.
Which really doesn't affect me. If they play the part well and it's a good story, I don't give a shit. Because it's that's one of those things. This is a real sidebar here.
Do it.
But that thing of at what point do you draw the line? As in, we know they're actors. It doesn't matter if they look exactly like what Greeks from that time would have looked like. We still know they're getting paid more than probably anyone else on the planet. They're actors. They're being paid to play that part. And we accept that. We go, that's fine. And then maybe another degree, maybe they'll, he's not quite as tall as they probably would have been. Okay, well, we'll accept that. Do you know what I mean? And then there's this line suddenly where, he's got the different coloured skin. So suddenly, well, that's not right. He's not like the guy. I just don't really have that at all with actors because they're playing it. Like on stage, if that was a stage show of Troy, I don't think anyone would give a shit. If there was Asian people and people of Asian descent and there was black people and I feel like theatre's been like that for a lot longer. Whereas with movies now, they're kind of finally going, yeah, okay, that's true. You can just do whatever. And a lot of audiences, it's got literally like a 2 out of 10 user review score, and mostly because of that, because of historical inaccuracy. It's not based on fucking historical events. It's a fucking myth.
I want to see Donald Glover play the Joker.
Me too. Yeah, it'd be really good.
I reckon he's really...
After seeing that the This Is America.
This Is America had this vibe to it, this chaotic vibe. I just reckon it'd be great, and I don't get why. Can we not have an African American Joker?
Well,
I think it'd be fucking awesome. Is it Michael Kenneth Williams or whatever?
The only reason I don't know how to say this without sounding, I don't know.
Like the idea.
Okay, I don't want to be too overcautious. He would still have to have his white skin. The bleach. Do you know what I mean? Like, the only reason I would worry is if they went, but we can't make him white.
No.
So the Joker will be...
But
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and but that to me is like a trait of the character. Like, he's like, I wouldn't mind keep him clown, but for me, having watched that video and then thinking of him being the white Joker, there was this like political like
yeah, like that would be a
thing
really
of,
good
like,
thing of... I mean,
almost like a lashback at
like
at the idea of blackface.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dress up as a fucking white
I'm
man.
going to dress up as the white
and-
man, It'd be really cool, like especially if it was like down the Heath Ledger Joker element of like
Yeah.
that mirror of society kind of thing.
Yeah,
I reckon you'd make a really good Joker. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
I think that'd be so cool. I don't know. Just when I watched that video, I was like, "Fuck, this dude should play the Joker," and he's an awesome actor too.
Yeah, I really struggle to find characters that I don't think could be changed. Like have their heritage changed. It's a really tough one. Like, as long as there's still probably like some characters, it's important what country they come from. As in, Mad Max, say. I feel like you could have an Aboriginal guy play Mad Max.
Fuck yeah.
I think that would be totally fine because they'd still share that sort of similar cultural identity, that whole just thing that's wrapped up in that
In the wasteland.
in the wasteland, Australia, the I don't know, just the car culture and all that kind of stuff.
Has anyone watched Clever Man?
No.
No, not yet. Looks really good though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just didn't.
What's Clever Man?
It's like an Australian superhero TV show.
Oh.
But it's like Dreamtime.
But yeah,
kind
it's
of.
an Aboriginal dude
Cool.
with some kind of, I don't know if he's got powers or just visions or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd like to watch it, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. The
Is
way
it on like
that
SBS Demand or something?
Probably, or ABC, one or
ABC.
the other. Yeah.
I think it was on SBS On Demand,
Yeah.
but this is a while back when it was on there because I was watching that Nightfall show.
It's definitely out on DVD.
David.
Divid.
We got off track, but the point of saying Troy, the sacrifice, the reason I really like that show is because it feels like reading the myth. Like it's a bit like Vikings. Not all the character arcs are super satisfying and easy to follow, but things just happen and they're weird. And you know the start, the three gods, Aphrodite, Athena, and God, I've forgotten what the third one is now. Maybe Artemis, possibly. Anyway, three of the female gods turn up in the forest and give the main dude a golden apple, and they're kind of like, you've got to give the apple to the person who's the fairest, and you know, and they give him their pledge of what they'll do if he gives the golden apple to them, and like he's got to pick which one, and it's just. I don't know, it's just really cool. It just randomly happens. The gods
In
are
the
just
forest.
there, and
Yep,
he's
yep.
got to give the apple to one of them. And all the gods are like walking through the battlefield, and there's battles going on. They're like blessing people, but they're all on opposite sides of the battle, so they're all blessing everyone. And that's why the war lasts for 10 years because there's gods on both sides. So there's none of the heroes are dying because they're all blessing the heroes. It's just really cool. Just fully embraces that kind of thing. It's not the real story of Troy. It's just going, it's fucking gods and.
That's what I love. I like when they do that in Vikings. When they bring the mythology in.
Yeah,
Like,
the bits with the door in the start of season 4, or is it part B of season 4? Anyway, there's the big door
I
that
love the first part of Vikings where it's him
in
and Rollo in that field, like,
Just after
that
the battle.
carnage,
Yeah.
And there's like the crows and the tree and Odin, yeah.
showing up.
and the bit
So
with
good.
Floki.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to
That
talk
was
about?
no, you talk about it because you noticed it. And
The bit where, again, spoilers, Floki goes to kill Athelstan, isn't it? It's then, and it's this really cool montage with the intense music, and he's walking through I'm sure you remember this bit, and there's all the way it's edited, it's shot as one shot kind of thing, it just follows him,
it's
but
tracking.
the way it's edited, it can either be you're just following him, and occasionally the camera goes to look at animals, or it's actually he's turning into the animals. Have you ever picked up on
No.
that?
It's
So he
fucking bizarre.
he walks behind like a house, and the camera's on this side of the house, and then it pans up, say, and follows a crow, and the crow goes up and then goes down, and the crow disappears, and then he comes out the other side of wherever the crow just
Wow.
disappeared, and it happens with a dog too.
Yeah,
He
it's
walks past a bonfire, and then a dog walks past the bonfire.
Because you're going, he's going to be seen here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Is
it's
that
just-
when he's walking towards someone coming down the alleyway?
Yeah, that's right. And
And-
the camera, it does some kind of
It's
trick
like
where
as
it
they
pans
pass
across.
and it turns around to follow the other guy, and that guy looks back over his shoulder.
and it's just a dog walks away.
Yeah.
And so you don't necessarily see him turn into the dog, and I think it then shows you Floki walking again.
That's so
But you
bizarre.
can really read into it that he's just turned into the dog.
Why?
And kept walking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was
really like I saw it. It's just one of those things. Sometimes people see things and sometimes people don't. I saw that and was like, oh wow, okay. But you hadn't seen it.
No.
But now that you have seen it,
I can't see it any other way.
I wanna.
It's really worth rewatching that episode, for that, because it really builds into all that mythology stuff.
Did I pack it? Yes.
Did you finish American Gods?
Yes. Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked it. It was very strange.
I would say, like, if you're ever looking for another book to read, definitely read the book, because I found the TV show, like, it's an adaptation.
Okay.
Really. And I like the way they did it. They focused more on some characters and brought them into it more and made them more... This is much more of, like... The show maybe features, say, 4 or 5 main characters. Obviously, Shadow's still the main one. The book is really focused on... Shadow is the main character. Wednesday is probably the next one.
Yeah.
And
I love... Yeah, I was going to say, I love when Odin.
Yeah.
He was so good.
The book is just really nice, and those chapters there, you know, when the episodes start with her coming to America, and it goes into a story about, you know, whether it's, you know, slaves being brought or the Vikings turning up and that sort of thing. Those chapters are really nice, and there's actually more of them. I grew to really like Mad Sweeney in the show.
Yeah.
He's great. And I feel like that, again, is a nice example, too, of gods, like, interfering in people's lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like when I read that, I listened to it on audiobook. That's probably how I'd say. The audiobook is fucking amazing, because, like, 4 or 5 people do voices. It's not just one person doing all these. Oh, no! You know?
Yeah.
But it was, like, resonated with me, because it's kind of like how I already felt about spirituality. Like, that these are concepts that draw on human worship to make, you know, like, 'cause I think when John Trudell, in whatever his talk was, said about that, how, you know, it's kind of like these energy pits that they herd people to feed on the energy, like churches or whatever, you know. I think those concepts and those figures are kept alive by our remembering them and involving them in our lives. So it's a really cool series for that. It really, it delves into that in some nice ways. And I love Ian McShane. He's so good. The guy who plays Wednesday. He's always fun to watch. Cool. Thanks for that.
No worries.
It's interesting that I feel like a lot of TV shows based on books and movies based on books as well in sort of the Western culture, it's always kind of done to, like, replace. I don't feel like they're ever done as companions to the source material that well, and they definitely kind of almost, a lot of the time, not ashamed, but they don't want to be compared to the original to the book or whatever. They're like, well, this is our own thing, that's whatever, and we're doing it our own way. Whereas it's just an interesting difference with, like, manga in Japan that then goes to anime. Anime, and I didn't know this until very recently, but anime, so the cartoon versions of the comics, they're often done literally just to get people invested, and you can't watch the whole story through the show. You have to go, wow, that's really cool. Like Berserk. Berserk's one of my favourite ones, and there's only one season. I think they've done another season now, many, many years later. But the season is done as this thing to get you hooked, and then you're like, what happens next? And then you've got to go and buy the books and read the books. Yeah, and it's really interesting that the books part of it is the focus, and they're just using the mainstream entertainment to get people hooked in and bring them to it. Whereas I feel like ours is like, it's done as like a replacement. You don't need to read the book because we'll bring out the show. Yeah, we'll bring out the movie. We'll bring out the show.
I can't believe more things don't do. Like, say a series that each season is interspersed with the film. So you have like 10 episodes or 8 episodes or 13. And then there's a feature film that comes out. You know, so that you can get the scale of that big
movie.
event or whatever that happens. Like, and then you go back for season 2. And then between season 2 and 3 you have a movie.
Well, a great example would be like Vikings. Like a Vikings movie at the cinema would be awesome. If you've got like 4 seasons of character development and then you go and watch the big spectacle.
Yeah, the
based
Battle
on
of
that
Paris or something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No one really does it. I think Jack was saying Doctor Who kind of does it.
Okay.
They release like Christmas specials or something that go to the movies.
They when I originally heard about the Dark Tower becoming a movie, that was talked about. There's going to be 3 series and each series is going to end with a movie.
The movie, yeah. But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
I think it hinged on the success of that one movie and it was not successful. Still haven't seen it. I wouldn't mind watching it. But, yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I don't think so.
Kind of. I like the look of the trailer.
Who is it?
The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
It's
What is it?
It's based on Stephen
Where is
King
it?
novels. It's I don't know where it is. It's kind of like Western meets fantasy.
Ah.
So there's like gunslingers and stuff, but there's
Cool.
also magicians and it's kind of a bit of a Batman Joker. There's like a central bad guy, a good guy that just keep repeating the Man in Black and the gunslinger, and they just keep repeating cycles.
Cool.
It's like tied into like Arthurian like legend and stuff, like Knights of the Round Table, except they're like gunslingers and it's very weird.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And yeah, they brought out this movie with Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black, the bad guy, and Idris Elba plays the gunslinger. And the movie looks kind of cool. I think people said it seemed like it was heavily edited, like it should have been too short.
How old is it?
2 years? The
Oh,
movie,
that.
the
I
movie?
don't think I've heard of
maybe
it.
last year. It really, I think it was one of those things where didn't seem to get enough pull to bring audiences to it, and diehard fans didn't really like the look of it. Even though the original author, Stephen King, was like, yeah, it's good. I approve of this.
Yeah.
So it's a real bummer because it's one of those situations where you feel like they would have gone on to do really cool things with it if it had of. I hate nothing worse than that, like when there's like a planned trilogy and you just get the one movie, one planned series, and you just get one like half season or something. It's always really fucking frustrating. Solomon Kane was one of those movies for me. That was meant to be a trilogy, and that was a really cool little fantasy movie, but it was all setting up a sequel that you never get.
Yeah. Sometimes you watch something and you're just like, I could just stay in this world, and I'm going to go on about it again, Far Cry Primal. I don't know.
Is that every podcast? Or
Yeah, I just love it. It's so cool. But there's like Skyrim and all that sort of stuff. Like, they're so immersive.
Skyrim is very beautiful.
Yeah. Gathering herbs and just, I don't know, sometimes you go, we're so lucky. Some of the things we get to play around in and I was going to ask too about your musical garden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We should definitely talk about that. So
Are we plugging something?
Oh, I mean, like
Hopefully people have stuck around for all 2 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
it's a soft plug.
Over my nasally voice now.
It's just like, I don't know. Do you like if anyone has? I mean, most of the people who are going to listen to this probably have heard musical gardens,
Have
but
heard the musical garden.
I know it's kind of going through a bit of like a changing phase at the moment where you're, kind of trying to, I don't know, get all people paid and paid for your time. And,
Yeah, I guess so. Like at the moment, obviously, it's sort of a volunteer run thing, and it's just basically because Banana's boring, in a sense, and if you don't, if you don't play sport or drink at the pub, there's kind of not much to do around at night. So obviously it's not on every night, but every couple of months, and working with the gallery gigs too, we just try and put on a night of live music, original live music, which is pretty cool, because it's like I guess it's sort of giving the community access to artists that are coming in, local and those that have travelled, access to see something that they might not get the chance to see. But then also like creating a platform for people that might want to test their original stuff, and they have a safe environment to do that, and also a place where they can network with people who may be old hat at the game kind of thing. But I was saying it's just, I don't know, even if you're not there for the music, it's kind of a nice little world space to be in when it's happening.
What are the, like, if someone hasn't been to one, what happens? I actually haven't been to a musical garden.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I realised the other day. What should I expect?
Well, you should expect festoon lights, pretty fake stars, smiling faces, warmth, not in the sense of like, I'm cold warmth, but like,
Love.
yeah,
Welcoming.
love. Welcomingness.
A tinted kettling of the
Yeah,
heart.
yeah. No, it's really special. And I sort of say that I'm doing this for the community, but really I'm very selfish and I enjoy them a lot, so I just keep doing it for me.
That's how these things start.
Yeah.
Like you really like the music. You're right. The music for
Yeah.
you and it resonates with other people.
Yeah.
I think the idea, that's the goal, to do something you
Yeah.
love that's important to you, and it just happens to be interesting to other people, which seems to be working.
Yeah, and I guess, growing up and not really having much happen here, it's just I kind of want to create that thing for people. And for what I was saying was for the young, but also for the young at heart, so all ages. And it's kind of nice to see, like, people bring their kids along and their kids are dancing, but then it might be like, a couple of locals that come into the cafe that are like, on their walking stick or whatever, and just kind of sit up the back and enjoy it. And it's really nice. And normally we do it at the One Wild Apple Cafe, so we have it in the alleyway and sort of block off the end. And so the cafe provides like homemade food and a bar, and it's just a really beautiful thing.
And obviously it takes lots of work and all that sort of shit, because
Yeah.
I've seen how much work you put in, and like there's a lot of work from a lot of people, like all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So how can
Sorry.
people support it? This has kind of turned into a harder plug than I thought, but I think it's fucking worth it. I think
It's
we shouldn't be ashamed of our art. And,
No.
It's
It's definitely, like, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it without lots of various people, particularly tall people, to hang things up for me. But, yeah, I guess it'd be nice. I've sort of started I have started a GoFundMe page.
Yep.
For the musical garden, so it would be cool. I've kind of got this idea that, like, the community pay to keep it running for the community, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like a sustainable cycle. And I guess doing this Global Sisters stuff, I've been kind of wrestling with the fact of trying to figure out the whole point of it is to figure out how I can be paid through it all, but I can't get over that sense of, like, guilt. Because I'm like, no, if I'm getting paid, then I feel like all the other people that are sort of contributing should be paid. But yeah, so I guess in the future, that's something that I need to work on. But yeah, at the moment, sort of what we do is we have a door charge. People come and pay, and then after we've sort of, we pretty much give all the proceeds from the door to the musicians that have come to play. And then the bar and the cafe take the bar sort of sales. But the only thing that's sort of crap about that, I guess, is with this generation, and I am included, people are really bad at commitment, so you don't know who's coming until the last second. So sometimes that can be really hard, trying to convince an artist to come with them not knowing how much they're going to be paid, sort of trying to sell it as an experience. So that's where it would be good, I guess, to have a bit of, like, back funding to be able to just pay them and then have some stuff left over for the musical garden. Yeah.
That's a cool idea. And so I'll put a link up to your GoFundMe.
That would be amazing.
Show notes or whatever, but I saw it sitting there the other day, and I'm like, you've got one coming up.
Yes, December 21st.
Okay.
Liz Stringer.
Cool.
Yeah. So at One Wild Apple.
Yeah.
I think it's a Friday night. and it's going to be really good. So,
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. And it is a funny, weird relationship creative people often have with money.
Yeah.
Of whether we should and whether we shouldn't, and I guess it comes down to the fact that we probably overthink everything. You know, or imaginative minds come up with imaginative ways in which we're screwing other people over because, you know, like, but it makes sense. It is a job. It is something that you're creating value in the community, and opportunities for people to listen, for people to play, you know, for, you know, businesses and stuff to make food and drink, and I think, yeah, we should value
people
that.
together.
Yeah, it's a really nice thing to do, and the reality is money helps everyone survive in our current situation, our current climate. It's necessary to pay the bills.
And I think, and that's the other thing, like speaking about necessity, I think it is a necessity to have this kind of stuff, particularly for me, to have that space where there is like a warm, safe environment for human connection. And I think it's, you know, for people that might not necessarily go out all the time to things, I feel like this is a nice kind of space for all types to visit. And also, like with the music and stuff, I think it's really important for mental health as well, just to have that happening.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Thanks. Yeah.
Been doing this for 2 hours. Do you wanna wrap it up?
Finish
Do you wanna
it
do are you happy to do a song to play us out?
Yep.
Again, I feel
Did
like
I explain about it? I don't know.
probably should talk. Well, we're gonna finish with this song, so we should probably talk a little bit beforehand. Maybe if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So speaking of, I guess, Viking mythology and
We dovetailed this nicely.
thoughts and memories and the mind and.
You just tied the whole podcast together.
Yep.
Shit.
I don't know how I did that. I'm a wizard.
Nice.
This is my newest song. What did you say?
I said you're a bard.
I'm a bard. Sorry, magical bard. And this is my newest song. It's very different from all my other songs, I guess, because I don't normally sing high, and I sing high in this one.
Cool.
And I guess I wrote it at a time where I was feeling very hopeless. And it's sort of a bit of a play on words because it's called, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, but Hugin and Moonin, which is Odin's 2 ravens that travel around the world of Midgard and come back and tell him all that they see. And I think, in Old Norse it translates to thought and mind or memory. Is that right? Yeah. And so it's kind of a bit of a play on words because I guess it's just, I wanted to call it thought and memory. My thoughts or my memory, my mind. And I was tossing up whether to call it that. And I did like a voice memo recording of the song. And I didn't notice at the time, but when I listened back to it, there was crows in the background. Various. So cool. And I was like, I've affirmed that I must call it this. And then just with the words and stuff, it's sort of just what came out. And I was talking to Owen actually about, I didn't show him the words, but I just sort of said, I don't know whether to sort of change it up and make it sound better. I don't know, different. But I think we sort of thought that it would be better to just play as it came. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Thanks for that. And thanks for chatting to us. Hope it wasn't too painful.
Yeah.
Take us away.
I don't know if anyone will hear my new song. So I feel like they probably would have tuned out at about...
Nah, mate.
It's the hardcore fan. All the cool
35
people are
minutes.
still here.
Yeah, you know who you are.
Cool. I don't know whether I should stand a little closer because it's a little quieter.
Go for it. It hasn't been like too
Crazy.
loud yet, so
Okay.
go for it.
Cool.
And sit down if you want, probably.
Submerge me in the water. Let me sing. Let me sing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Moonbeams cast shadows onto my Done.
Whoa. That was awesome. That was great.
Thanks.
Elzo. That was really like hypnotic.
Oh, good.
Very trance-inducing.
Yeah. Again, it sounds like it should be at the end of a movie.
Interesting.
A movie about medieval shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's 6:37.
I know.
What the fuck?
And you thought you'd have nothing to say.
We still recording?
Yeah.
Sweet.
End of there?
Sounds good.
Sweet. Thanks, Elzo.
No.